So later when Paul writes the Philippians, he exhorts them to reckon their citizenship according to the gospel of Christ. That's in Philippians 1:27. Reckon your citizenship according to the gospel of Christ. Right? And then later in Philippians 3, he says, remember that your primary citizenship is in heaven. Right? Your primary citizenship is in heaven. Now, people hear that sometimes and they think that means, so it doesn't really matter what's going on here on earth. But that wouldn't make any sense to Philippians. That wouldn't make any sense to people who live in Philippi. The Roman citizenship, they didn't live in Rome. Right? They lived in Philippi, but why did they care about being Romans? Because Philippi was a colony of Rome. It was a mini Rome. They were taking the ways of Rome, or they were supposed to be, and they were supposed to be establishing the ways of Rome in Philippi. I was reading a little bit about the archaeology in the ancient city of Philippi, and there's literally these imitative buildings, ruins of buildings that are imitating Rome. They were trying to make Philippi like Rome. For our citizenship to be in heaven means that we are taking the ways of heaven, and we're trying to make our city like that. Right? That's what he's saying. He's not saying, don't worry about Philippi, it's going to burn anyways. No, he's saying what you want to do is you want to reckon your citizenship as primary citizens in heaven, and so you want to be for Philippi, making Philippi its heavenly version. Make Philippi its heavenly version, a true Philippi, the heavenly version of Philippi. You want to make that so here and now. Being an imperial colony, they would have understood that this didn't mean they were not loyal or patriotic citizens of Rome, but rather that the true form of that citizenship, the true form of Roman citizenship, was being impressed upon them from heaven. How can you be a faithful citizen? How can you be a patriotic citizen unless you learn what patriotism is from heaven? How can you learn what justice is in the marketplace unless you learn it from heaven, unless you get it from the Lord Jesus? By preaching and casting out demons and baptizing and eating together and singing, Paul was teaching the citizens of Philippi how to be true Romans. Right? That's what he's doing. This is how to be a true Roman. Right? No more demons. That's just screwing everything up. No more demons. No. Set them free. Right? And justice. We need some justice. We need some due process. We can't have mob rule. That's not going to work out for anyone. We need due process. We need witnesses. We need to establish heavenly justice so that Philippi will be a good city to live in. Right? This is what Paul is doing. I believe this is fundamentally why we have faced more trouble here in Moscow than many places do. We are in a great struggle over what the true Moscow is. What is the true Moscow? You see, pagans don't mind religions that merely want to exist on the corners. If we want to exist over here on the corner, and we'll come to your grocery store occasionally, but you all feel free to do as you please. That doesn't really going to collide. But we're here to see Moscow become what Jesus died and rose again for it to become. He died and rose again in order to purchase all the nations in heaven and on earth, and in earth, and he purchased all the nations, all the cities with his blood. And so we are his disciples. We are his colonists. And we've been assigned to this place to make Moscow its heavenly version. We want Moscow to reflect the heavenly justice, the heavenly freedom, the heavenly liberty, and that's why there's conflict. That's why there's struggle. You got some people saying Moscow's like this. This is the true Moscow, and we say, well, some of that, yes, right? No, we love the outdoor stuff. That's great, but no pride parades. No, that's destroying Moscow. Right? You want this over here. You want a beautiful downtown, and you want nice restaurants, and you want people to be able to go out on an evening and enjoy drinks and live music. And that's glorious. We want that too. Right? To the glory of God, no drunkenness, no sexual morality. But yes, that's the true Moscow. Right? But there's other things that you're trying to wind into this that are from the demons, and they're from injustice, they're from pagan ways. And no, that's not real Moscow. That's not the real Moscow. And that's why there's such collision. That's why there's such tension.